Hello, welcome to another episode of The End of the Search. This one I call it, What Do I Mean by Thought? And this is because someone wrote a comment in one of my videos and it went like this. The person says, I is a thought in itself. And then I replied, you're absolutely right. We must remember, however, that everything perceived is a thought in itself. Consequently, what the videos are pointing to cannot be talked about, but since we appear to be here, language with its limitations serve only to point. Thanks for the comment because it is always helpful. And then the person says, it is not true that everything perceived is a thought. Perception is actually possible only in the absence of thought. And I reply, who or what perceives? It's all a thought. And then the person says, does a child think? No, but it perceives. Does an animal think? No, but it also perceives. Perception is immediate and thought comes immediately after claiming ownership. But I absolutely believe that you have it the way you say. Okay, the person has an argument that is valid. See, but what I'm trying to point to is that the word we use, the word thought in these videos are completely different. And this is where, this is why I chose to make this video, just to clarify that. What we are is what is, meaning that is the non-conceptual, ever-present, infinite, omnipresent, omniscient, energy field, space-like, you see. This is what we are in essence. This is what we're pointing to here, also referred to as non-duality, okay? And in non-duality, there's no perception, there is nothing. All that there is there is nothing or there is everything. You know, the everything that is nothing, the nothing that is everything, but that is beyond words, and that's it. This is what we're pointing to here. Now, in the nothingness that seems to be, appears or seem to appear a shape, a form, which in this case could be called a body or something. Well, that body is what I refer to as thought, you see. But for the sake of this, the first thought would be a mind, okay? So the mind is a thought in itself. That's what I mean, everything is a thought. Now, because of the mind, the capacity of perception arises in it, meaning that the capacity of perceive arises within the thought, you see, within the thought referred to as mind. But just for the sake of giving it a bit of a shape, so in the thought called human or body, see, the thought appears first, and then the capacity to perceive appears within that thought. So the body is something that is a thought, you see, that is something I'm referring to. The body is a thought, or the baby is a thought, or the animal is a thought in all that there is. And because of that thought, the capacity to perceive appears. Without the thought of a baby or the animal or the person, without that thought, the capacity to perceive could not possibly be, because again, in order for perception to be able to be, there have to be two. There have to be that which perceives and that which is being perceived. But in oneness, in not even oneness, in the essence, there's no perception. Why? Because there's not a thought that takes a shape or a form, you see? So these videos are pointing to that where there's no thought. So again, in these videos, we use the term thought referring to the seeming separation, the thought of separation. But in the world of illusion, what we appear to be, what I'm seeing from the person's comment is that the person is taking it from the perspective that in the world of perception, we think, you see? In other words, perceiving happens, and then a thought appears that interprets. You see, that's why I'm not discarding the person's argument. But what is being overlooked is that the me that seems to be here is a thought itself in all that there is. You see? So that's why I say that everything is thought. I am not thinking. Thinking happens in me, but not in me as a person, because this person is a thought itself in all there is. Thinking happens in all there is, beginning with the thought me person, which now has the capacity to perceive. You see? That's what we're pointing to here. So once again, this person's comment is very valid. I am not discarding it. It's just that we're using the word thought in a different context. And in these videos, thought is the belief in separation, the seeming appearance in totality. And consequently, perception is born through that. Well, this is what came through this instrument. Hope that it served. And as always, may peace permeate the mind so that love can be extended.